Sunil is one, I just want to say, he got lot of corporate jobs. He refused. From the beginning, he first land in legal aid clinic we started in Shamirpet 2000, if I am correct, Sunil. So that time onwards he is involved. He has done a lot of work. In simple one sentence, normally I put anywhere I go. He is a social face of NALSAR. So through him you can listen what kind of activities we are doing. So Sunil is one person who is contributed maximum to the institution through various projects. Today we got crores of projects through Sunil we are getting, and he is helping a lot. So Sunil, one thing I want to know, what are the initiatives we have taken and what is the way forward? Just why don't you speak,
Sure, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Good. Anyway, whenever we hear legal aid, even if 2-3 people turn up, it's a big turnover. And 10-15 of them, really happy. Thank you very much, sir. You always introduced me as a social face of NALSAR. I don't know how much I've done it, but yeah, I tried my best in last 12 years to contribute whatever I feel is good and whatever I enjoyed. I kept doing it last 12 years. I'll take about 15-20 minutes to just give you what has been our progress, NALSAR, in terms of access to justice and legal aid at a grassroots level, what we could accomplish, and then we can engage into a conversation what you're interested and the way we can support through Center for Land Rights here, or I work in an organization called Landesa, globally called Landesa. Its old name is Rural Development Institute. It's a group of lawyers came together and established this organization. It's founded by a law professor in US. We have headquarters in Seattle. I was a director for AP in Telangana until very recently. For about 8 years I was a director. Now I'm working as a national director for land laws and policy. My headquarters in Delhi, but I operate from Hyderabad. Before I venture to speak anything about what we have done, let me only tell you two important recent developments, what NALSAR has contributed. Unfortunately, many great things done by important institutions. I had to tell those institutions that you've done great work. Please tell people that you've done great work. Last year, 2 years back, I was in World Bank Conference. I generally go annual land conference, which happens in Washington DC every March. That's a practice for me. Last 12 years, been there for many times. Last 3 years, I didn't go. So I used to tell World Bank that you've done an excellent work in AP and Telangana through your paralegal program. No, at least tell the world that this is our initiative. You need to propagate it. Not because that you've done a great work and you're telling it, but it's worth following and worth telling others to follow that model. Even NALSAR, in last 12 years, done fantastic work in terms of reaching out to the poor. Very few people know, a limited circle of people who know. Some people got involved, they get to know. Very hall where you're sitting, last 12 years, so many gatherings happened here. So many meetings here resulted into fantastic programs. And that's my duty today for next 10-15 minutes to tell you what has happened. Then you can take a call, what you want to do. Let me first start with one important incident happened in our canteen. I studied here from 1999 to 2004. First year we were in city, Barkatpura campus. Shifted here in 2000. So we saw the institution growing and we grow with the institution. And that's a legacy. There's advantages and disadvantages. We don't have comforts, but we had enjoyed a lot of good relations with a lot of people here. Both the faculty and non-teaching staff. So even today I come here, I call a lot of people Anna. Even your attenders or drivers, that's a kind of relationship we enjoyed. With teachers, there's a fantastic relationships. There's one incident where we put up a judgment given by Revenue Divisional Officer, a sub-collector rank officer, adjudicated one land matter, and that's a decision given by an RDO. We posted it in a canteen, and the title for that order which we put there, that do you want these kind of orders or a moot court price? You know why? In the order itself, this is the first time in NALSAR history, the RDO acknowledged the efforts of law students, saying that because of efforts of so-and-so batch law students, I could resolve this case, and this is how I am resolving the case. Finally, 2 acres of land is given to a landless poor person as a result of that order. So there is a specific mention of students who involved in that work. And it led to a big debate that what kind of work we want to do, whether moot courts are great or we want to do a real kind of legal work and learn ourselves and be useful to the society. And the background for that particular order We have started legal aid initiatives in around 2000 with one single intention. It's a premier law school here. What can we do to people around us? And we have taken the land of the land which you are now sitting here, entirely 50 acres beautiful campus. Before the campus came here, this land belongs to 30 Dalit families. This land is given to 30 Dalit families for cultivation purposes. And it's taken from them and we built this building. And the very institution which is led to the loss of livelihood to those 30 families, again we, all of us, faculty and the students got involved and this got a compensation for them. And the whole thought was that can we as students contribute something back to the villages? Can we do anything? We done a little initiative around Shamirpet and Pudu, but my batchmates, us from the agriculture background, we decided that let's go to remote places where we can really make an impact. And a group of about 7-8 people from my batch, I belong to the 2004 batch, graduated in 2004, around 8 of them finally get together, decided one thing, let's go to a district where we have contacts there, do only one small thing, that understand the adjudication system in the villages, compare that with the civil courts and submit a report. We didn't have a big thoughts because we were seeing that there are so much powerful judgments given by the village panchayats. The provocation incident which made us to think in that way that we need to go to villages, there were two major incidents happened, one in the current Andhra Pradesh state, new Andhra Pradesh state, and one in Telangana, the then United AP. The first incident happened, still I have that paper clipping, in Prakasham district, in one remote village, there was a rape offence which is committed today, and the next day the village panchayat has met in the morning and they've tried the offence. They came to a conclusion that the accused is guilty of that offence and they passed a sentence by afternoon saying that he has to be executed. A death penalty was awarded by a village panchayat, not by Supreme Court. And they broke for lunch. They had lunch. By 3 o'clock, they've executed it. So you look at offence happened within 24 hours of offence, and trial is over, sentence is executed. And I was really wondering, what is this power? If you look at it from one angle, it's a gross violation of human rights. Look from another angle, such a speedy justice. It just took 24 hours. A normal rape offence, if you are convicting somebody with a death penalty, by the time it goes to Supreme Court, then pardon, governor, president, then again in between appeals, it will take about 15 to 20 years minimum. It took only 24 hours. There is another incident which has happened in Karimnagar district. One newspaper reporter working in a paper called Varta, there is a Telugu daily which still comes. He reported an incident of mass child marriage in his village. Around 40 child marriages happened in that day. And he reported in the paper that it became a habit in this village that the continuous child marriage is happening and no legal action is being taken and no officers are doing anything about it. And the next day, he was called to panchayat, the village panchayat, and he was imposed 5,000 in penalty for reporting the news in the paper. And the next day there was no news item, but my inquiry revealed that he actually paid those 5,000 rupees to live in that village, otherwise he has to face a social bypass. These two incidents provoked all of us. We were thinking what we should do. These two incidents really provoked us. What is such great thing about village panchayats and what is not so great about our regular adjudicating mechanisms? Can we do a comparison that can we really understand something about it? So we decided as part of our internship exercise, we choose Warangal district where I belong to. Warangal district is about 130 kilometers from Hyderabad. I belong to that district. So we all went to with support from servers there with a great support, and we had other faculty who were supporting us. Then we went to a district judge there. Our Vice Chancellor Ranvi Singh was there. He made a call to the district judge saying that my boys and girls are coming to you. They wanted to work in the villages there. Can you please extend the necessary support? Then we landed up there. I shared my idea with the district judge. Then he said, why do you want to only do a study? Study actual cases there. I'll come and settle it in the village. That's a promise given by the district judge. We were all excited. We just went there to study something and give a report, and this man tells me, okay, you go study, I'll come and settle the cases. With that inspiration, in about 20 days time, in 4 villages, we actually studied the ongoing cases in courts, civil cases, criminal cases. While we doing the study, we also realized if you don't address the root cause of the problem, these cases will keep coming in the village. For a criminal case, the root cause may be in a land matter. For a land matter, the root cause may be somewhere else. So what do we need to do? In addition to resolving existing cases, if we can bring Trimurthulu together to a village, we call Trimurthulu of the district. District collector, superintendent of police and the district judge. So we call them as Trimurthulu. If they three come to the village, settle all problems, then that will be a final thing. At least for some years, the village will be very peaceful. So what we have done, in all the 4 villages, we spent about 4 or 5 days in each village, trying to study cases, talk to the parties, convince them that they need to settle the cases, understanding the background. Then one day, we organized village courts. In all 4 villages, we have organized village courts. Out of 4 villages, we were successful in 3 villages. In 3 villages, all cases were resolved under tree, including grass kind of offences like where the death penalty to be imposed, such kind of grave offences also were tried under the tree. And all 120 cases were resolved. And I remember 2 villages we could resolve during that 1 month time where we were in the village. For a 3rd village, we had done all the pending work. We are back in school, the semester started. Then suddenly a DJ calls up the registrar saying that your students have done a wonderful work in that village. I am conducting a village court and I need all your students, and also I am inviting you to come and participate in the village court. And exams, I still remember, the exams were going on. Immediately after they have that village court, there is one exam I need to appear. But the registrar decided, okay, fine, if you are confident, let's go to the village. They didn't realize how much work we have done in the village. There one faculty registrar accompanied us, we went to a village. When they saw all that happening, we were so surprised that this much can be done. And I still remember that one moment of the day, lot of TV channels were there. Couple of TV channels, people came to me saying that, Sunil, you are just in 2nd year of law, how could this is possible? I said, sir, I also don't know that I can do all that. A bunch of students came together thinking that we can do something to the village, we landed up in the village. That's where we are here. So that could be possible. Even today, I go back to those 3 villages, I keep going to those villages. The kind of transformation it brought in that village, I can only tell you about one particular village called Datla. It's on a highway between Warangal to Khammam. There are 2 places called Warangal and Khammam. You can Google it and see. There's a village called Datla on that highway. 5 kilometers from the highway. You need to go 5 kilometers. First time when we entered that village, and there is no proper road, no telephone connection, and it's very difficult even to enter the village. It's a scary place. 2 groups were fighting, such a scary place. The first day of interaction, there was one landlord there, offered a meal, and we were staying in that village. All group, there were 5 students, my batchmate, they were in the village, and the local police station SA asked us to meet him to discuss about cases. 2 of us went to that police station. By the time we came back, it was too late in the night. And in the village, the students who were doing that work were really scared that something might happen to them. That is the kind of situation when we first went to the village. I gone to the same village after 3 years, after settling all these cases, 2-3 years after that. I realized that, first of all, I could not realize it's the same village. There are 4 public telephone booths with a drinking water connection to every house, excellent road connectivity to the village. There are 2 rival groups. One person became a mandal president and the other person became a sarpanch of the village. And all cases were settled. I said, how? Sir, once it is cleared, then we understand the difficulties and we have progressed like anything. I am telling you all these instances, all happened in the year 2000. I still remember the last village court we held is December 10th. On the human rights, there is one village court has happened in the same village. Is all this case possible provided if we have that interest? Nobody gave us marks for that. It's part of our internship. We can just be there in any NGO, write some report and come back. Even today, if you ask any of my batchmates who are part of that, one person, Bhargavi, she is now in London. She's done her masters in agriculture law, settled in London now. There's one person, she's my wife now, my batchmate, she's a judicial officer, she's working in Algonda. Another person is two of them advocates in AP High Court. You speak to all of them, and sometimes you might see Suresh around here. Suresh is my junior. I think yesterday also was here on campus. He worked with me in a different capacities later on when I joined. This is a kind of an impact just a first and second year students can create in villages as possible. And let me only tell you second thing before I jump into the recent activities which NALSAR has done it. As a result of that kind of a pilot program which was taken up, It's picked up by Government of Andhra Pradesh, saying that this idea is really good, we wanted to support it. Society for Elimination of Rural Poverty, which is World Bank funded poverty eradication project, asked us to implement a pilot for land initiatives. So when we are in final year, we have done again a pilot exclusively to work on settling land disputes. We have selected again one revenue division in Warangal, it's called Mahbubabad Revenue Division. We could settle about 40-50 land cases by organizing village courts. Inspired by the success of that program, it led to a creation of paralegal program within the government. A pilot started from 2006 to 2016. In last 10 years time, NALSAR with the support of ACRP, we have trained about 1000 paralegals. Rural poor youth trained in land matters. And they got training in this hall. They all got 5-day training sitting here, sitting in boardroom of the Vice Chancellor or some of those classrooms. Many of you are not aware. 1000 people got trained. They was taken on an outsourcing basis for 1 year. They were taken as kind of resource persons for 1 year with 1500 rupees monthly salary. I believe many of us, 1500 rupees a daily pocket money, I think some of us. Some people spend about 10,000 to 20,000 per month as pocket money. And they get salary of 1500 inclusive of their travel allowance. That means their salary is 1,000, 500 is their travel allowance to tour entire mandal. And with that they started working. In 10 years, if you look at the success rate, about 10 lakh rural poor have got their land problems resolved. 10 lakh people minimum, which is recorded. If you see the other impact, much more. And the previous government of India, when Congress was ruling, UPA government, they written advisory to 17 chief ministers saying that the paralegal program initiated by AP government is worth replicating everywhere. If any states comes forward, money will come from Government of India. There is an advisory given by the Government of India. And in fact, we are trying the same model in a different kind of versions in Odisha. We started a community resource persons model. 16,000 people worked for about 2 years as community resource persons. We are just initiating something in Karnataka and Bihar. That's one story. And effort we just started as a curiosity of few students and a couple of teachers to do something, led to a design of a massive program which NALSAR got involved. Today NALSAR proudly claims we have created 1000 paralegals which they are working across the state. Very recently, Honorable Deepak Mishra talking to the paralegals, we had a major gathering here in the auditorium. This auditorium was completely full with all paralegals. They all gathered here, once in that auditorium and once at very same hall. Once Justice Singhvi spoke to, Sir organized an important event where 14 High Court judges were sitting here. Justice Singhvi was speaking from here with all the paralegals sitting there, many paralegals sitting there. He said, both of them, Deepak Mishra and Justice Singhvi, both of them said, you are the gods to people, not we, because you deliver justice at the grassroots level. We really appreciate the kind of efforts made by NALSAR and the paralegals. Our current Acting Chief Justice Ramesh Ranganathan, I shared that with him many times on different programs outside. Very recently I was with him in Srikakulam in a legal service authority program. He told me that the kind of initiative taken up by NALSAR, I wish that every law school should take up that initiative. Then I was joking with sir. So forget about other law schools, let the NALSAR continue that legacy, that's fine. The other students should know and they should continue that legacy. Now I know that it is some of faculty, at least registrars are taking active interest, and that center, if that is activated, that can achieve big results. This is one part of the story. But we have done much more than that. This is only one story. But I don't want to take much more time. If there is kind of curiosity, we can get to learn much more, but I'm only telling you in a brief what has happened. Very recently, there is a remote tribal village called Putilbhubuthi. If you Google it, you can still get it. There's a place called Putilbhubuthi, very near to Khammam. It's also in Mahbubabad district. First time in that village, after I think 40 or 50 years, entire tribal village became land problems free, and they first time saw what is called land title. They never saw what is land passbook, land title deed. It's again because of our efforts. Last 2 years, NALSAR and Landesa together, we are working in about 6 villages to resolve all the land cases in 6 villages and also clean the land records. You may be hearing about Digital India program. And in Digital India program, there is a component called Land Records Modernization Project. Digital India Land Records Modernization Project. with a budget outlay of 11,000 crores to be spent in next 4 years. And to do what? Display the record, put every record in computer and clean the record without community involvement. You put everything to quote an IS officer, you are trying to put garbage into the computer expecting a clean record. It will not give you a clean record, it will only give you a garbage out of it. Computer cannot clean the record. Who should clean? It's a revenue machinery. They don't have capacity. Who has to do it? The community involvement. Again, those 6 villages are now became a huge model for 2 things. One, for the land records updation. Second, how do we make villages litigation free? And with involvement of lawyers and law students, a couple of them are here, Jeevan is here, and sir visited all those 6 villages, not once, couple of times. First time when he was coming to Warangal, he is also not aware what is happening in the village. But the first time he came to one village very near to NALSAR, then he realized now this is a work, NALSAR has to do it. And today, one village is completely litigation free, second village is going to become litigation free this month. All the records are claimed, the pattas are ready, it has to be distributed to people. That's another major achievement which we have done as students, volunteers, then later on we spread to other law colleges also. This is the second one. A third very important initiative is still happening in NALSAR. I think every law student should get involved. If not, you are interested in legal aid, at least if you are interested to learn the law in a real sense, there is a fascinating work which NALSAR is doing in last 1 year, which is basically reviewing all the legislations. Government of Telangana and Government of AP, both the state governments have requested NALSAR University to redraft all the land legislations of Telangana state, of AP. With the initiatives taken by NALSAR, there is now interested Government of India requesting NALSAR to assist Department of Land Resources in reviewing land laws of other states, providing that kind of a technical support. NALSAR has submitted a preliminary report to Government of Telangana revising 112 legislations. When we began that exercise, we were asking how many land laws are enforced in the state. Nobody knows. Somebody says 5, 10. After 12 years of experience also, I was saying that maybe around 60, 65. Later we realized that it's not 40, 60, 14. There are 112 land legislations only for Telangana, and the land is a state subject. We recently submitted a report and we're going to give a second report. AP also, we just started revising it. All these efforts, whether it is a law review exercise, whether it's actually going to villages and trying to help people in getting those cases done, or any other things, there are only 2 requirements. You don't need any kind of a formal arrangement to do anything. If you are interested to do anything, everything is possible. And by doing all that, you are not doing charity work. I never felt that I am doing charity. In last 12 years or my 4 years work in NALSAR, starting from my second year to my final year, whatever I have done, I never felt that I am doing charity. In fact, I gained so much. As a person, I gained so much. As a byproduct, I might have helped so many people. And today's meeting is also an indication. Sir told me yesterday, he called me yesterday, saying that Sunil, there are a couple of students who are interested, that they're showing interest in legal aid activity. Why don't you come and talk? I said, sir, is it so that there are people who are interested for a legal aid work? Do you think people will come? I said, no, Sunil, some of them are approached me. It'll be good if you can spend some time. Then I immediately told sir that I can spend some time. I'll come today and I'm here. Before I kind of open it up, there are a couple of more things I need to give a brief remarks. Then you can ask me. I can go into detail, but there's no point going to detail at this point of time. There's one statement I want to make is that, again, what I made in the beginning, that law education is not only a corporate education. Don't think that happiness only comes in earning big money from law firm work or anything else. I'll tell you, you can talk to all your seniors, graduated, including my batchmates. Today they tell me 2 things. One, that Sunil, out of the total internship period in 5 years, the only internship we still cherish is that 1 month in the village. We could contribute, we could learn, we could enjoy all that happened at one place, because we have done that. Second thing, we might be earning big money. You might not be getting that money. Whatever salary I get today after 12 years, you may be getting immediately after the law school. Your first month's salary may be equivalent to my salary now after 12 years. But in terms of satisfaction, happiness, and the kind of reputation I have, today at least I can go to any village or at least any mandal headquarter in both Telangana and AP, walk into any office, walk into any village. If I say I am so and so, there are people who recognize me. In some places, without saying my name also, people look at me, they recognize me. Today, last 12 years, wherever sir speaks about anything about NALSAR, he will not speak without taking my name or reference to my work. It's all because what we have done. You can't calculate everything into money. It might look silly for some people now if I say that money is not important. I'm not saying that money is not important. I'm also telling you that there are alternate career paths where you can have immense satisfaction at the same time a bare minimum living. See, I'm not I'm not a real that kind of an activist with the Solapur chappal and kurta pajama. I'm a kind of normal dressed up person. I believe that I need to have minimum comforts. I'm living a kind of normal life like any person. I'm not saying that you need to be that kind of street activist or a street lawyer. No. I'm completely against that idea. In fact, after 6 months of joining work in government, somebody asked me, a senior colleague of mine asked me, Sunil, what is the color of your house? First of all, I didn't get the question. What's the color of my house? How does it matter? Then I got to know what he's asking. Then I told him, definitely not red. And I never read Karl Marx. Not Das Kapital. No, I've not read it. Simply because I work for the poor, don't brand me as left. I'm not left, I'm not right. I'm doing what I feel like doing it. I've never read complete left, I've never read complete right. I don't know what is the true sense of left and true sense of right. I've taken the sides of people, the poor people. And I'm living a normal life. I'm not sacrificing anything. My advice to all of you is that at least try this. You can't try this after graduating. Because after graduating, you will have a less scope for experimentation. You have 5 years time here. Try it out. Try it out for 5 days time, 10 days time or 20 days, how many days you can give in your 4 years tenure or 5 years tenure at NALSAR. Still, you will see a different world. And I don't know how many people got exposed to villages. I don't know how many people are from a village background. I think slowly that kind of backdrop is kind of diminished. People straight coming from villages. I come from a village. And a lot of people who work with me during that time, they're all from either directly from a village background. Bhargavi, for example, she worked very closely with me. She's from a village and her father is a farmer. And there are other people who might not be directly from village, but they understand and there is sensitivity for village people. And they could come. And some people, they never saw the village, they came with me. First, we started with 7 people or 8 people in 2000. By the time I graduated from NALSAR, at least 100 people from NALSAR have visited Warangal. They spent 2 days, 3 days doing whatever I was initiating there. In fact, in 4th year, when we were doing this village course, we have adopted one remote village and we conducted a medical camp, we conducted some bus shelter there, done a lot of activities. I kept wondering why so many students are showing interest. They said, at least we can do now, we might not be able to do after we graduate. There's one response. The second response, why don't we want to make this as a career path? And after I graduated, when I joined government, there are a couple of people, I think for about 2 years or 3 years, every batch worked with me for at least 10-15 days. My immediate juniors, they were with me in Karimnagar and Warangal district trying to help clear the litigation. Slowly the number decreased. Started with the entire batch immediately. My junior batch, entire batch got involved. Slowly I showed less interest and they also showed less interest. It's not kind of an easy job. At the same time, you need to go to places and do something new. But I'll tell you, as a student of a premier law school, you can do more than any other person, any other law student. You are privileged. And even if there are 20 people sitting here, at least if one person feels what I'm saying, that's okay. My purpose is done. And I think sir, purpose is also the same. You're not expecting that everybody will do it. Even one person out of this entire gathering start thinking about it, it's an achievement. And 1 or 2 people I think work with me. That you visited my office, you're there for a couple of days. There are law students from other law school, they keep coming to me. They work for about 1 month or 2 months. It's all is happening. But unfortunately there's a missing link. I think sir trying to connect that missing link. Even though so much is happening on campus, there's a missing link between the student community and all these kind of activities. If this spreads, you will get another opportunity to work. I stop here. I have a few more comments I wanted to make towards the end, but let me open for discussion or want to ask anything, then I reserve my few comments towards the end of my talk.
Yes, start.
Anything. It's not anyway talk also, it's an interaction. You can ask me anything. And I am part of NALSAR, I am not an outsider. And I understand the student psychology also, but I am being here for 5 years. So.
Sir, will the language be a barrier in this field?
Definitely not. Out of 100 people who work with me, only 3 or 4 of them know Telugu. And entire. There are so much. That's all misconception. I go to other law schools also, taking some kind of a guest lectures. The first response after I talk is that language a barrier? No, never. There's so much to be done, and you can do without understanding the local language. That's not a barrier at all. And I tell you, when you're talking about the language, students of NALSAR, with the support from involvement of law students from three colleges, 2 colleges in Warangal and 1 college in West Godavari district, they have scrutinized 6,000 cases disposed by agency courts, lower level tribal courts, to file appeals. And 6,000 cases are all in English. They have scrutinized. I gave them a proforma to fill that proforma after reading the file for me to file appeals. We filed 2,000 appeals out of the 6,000 cases. We got judgment in 500 cases. In 500 cases, tribals got the land back. What the students have done a major work. They have studied the files. They gave me the grounds for appeal. I gave the format, they filled the format, I just signed and filed it. And 500 cases we got the judgment. In fact, students from Pendakanti College also went to Adilabad. Pendakanti and Padalramreddy College students, they stayed in Adilabad tribal area for about 2 weeks, scrutinizing these files. West Godavari students, they were in tribal area of West Godavari district for about a month, camping there in a month. And then, when you wanted to do this kind of work, 2 things you need to focus. One, that don't expect to do everything sitting in campus. There is a limitation what you can contribute only sitting in campus. You can do something in campus also, more of research work and all, but at least you need to have a connection to the ground. You establish the connection to the ground, at least being there for some time. If you've been there to the ground, understanding people's problem, you can contribute more sitting on the campus. The ideal situation would be contributing some days of your time in the field, then continue doing whatever you're doing from campus. And other people who are still interested to do more of that ground level work, you can always do that. And not spending single rupee from your pocket. That's also, you all can afford. But the students of other colleges, they cannot afford to spend from their pocket. They have interest, zeal. What they lack and what you have is the knowledge. The students of other colleges, because you know the teaching standards and everything. For me to involve other law college students, I need to train them out. I have to give them 1 week crash course or a 1 month crash course. Then they get in to do all that kind of work. But you have, one is your knowledge levels. Second, your brand. NALSAR brand is a very, very important brand. I don't know. We also didn't realize when studying here. We make all kind of comments. We say we do all kind of criticism sitting inside. But today, when you go out, I can't speak of at the top level, but at the grassroots level, because of those 12 years of effort, especially last 2 years, what is happening with Registrar taking over the Center for Tribal and Land Rights. Every other day, at least every week, there is a Telugu newspaper item, not 1-2 papers. Every newspaper now talks about NALSAR. And sir was telling me, this remote Puttalgupati village is a tribal village. It takes 5 hours for you to reach that village from here. When he walked into the village, first thing he saw NALSAR logo in the village. And the village wall, NALSAR logo saying that land rights clinic with NALSAR logo. It's kind of percolated to that extent, and that's the kind of image we created. So you walk into any office today, at least I can speak of a revenue office. You can proudly say that from NALSAR I want to do this, people will help you. Take reference of NALSAR, they will help you. Judiciary also, I keep doing these training programs to police officers, judicial officers. Yesterday I was there in AP Judicial Academy lecturing on land laws, because very few people have that expertise in land law, so I keep going to so many places. And all the judges, they're willing, they needed help. When I speak to judicial officers, police officers, revenue officers, legal service authority officials, common people, everybody says, at least this minimum help, legal help can do wonders. I'll tell you the kind of wonders, even the little legal interview can tell you. I've done a TV program for some time, asking people who used to ask me questions on live TV program, they call up and they have doubt and they'll ask me and I'll answer. In the time they get 30 seconds, maximum 1 minute to ask a question. I get about a minute or 2 minutes to respond. Out of my 1 or 2 minutes response, I give a general answer for a minute or so, and there are only 10 seconds or 20 seconds is a direct answer to that fellow. But even that, I got so many calls from people. I never given my mobile number. I never gave my office number. People call up TV offices, they get my number. To what? Finally said, sir, we are trying to reach you last 10 days or 15 days. Finally we got the number. So tell me what is the problem. There is no problem, sir. You gave that advice, we got the patta done. I just called you to thank you. Small information. I have not done anything great. I'll also tell you, my first case, I think still that photograph is there in the land center. If you happens to be there in the land center, there is a tribal woman photograph. Her name is Mankubai. She is from a remote tribal village from Adilabad district. And, her family lost that 18 acres of land 40 years ago. You know the legal battle? Her father mortgaged the land to a local money lender for 500 rupees. And the agreement is that in lieu of the interest, possession of the land is given to the money lender. The day he repays the original and principal amount, he has to give back the land. That's an agreement. When he tried to give back 500 rupees, the money lender said, no, I bought the land. I paid you 500 rupees and purchased the land. It's not your land. Then the fight started from a lower court to the top court. It got to STC court in favor of tribal. Land has to be given to tribal. Went on an appeal to a collector's court. It's again in favor of tribal. Then the non-tribal brought the case to High Court. High Court said there is another remedy available, please go back to the tribal and come to us. Then the case went to government, Principal Secretary Tribal Welfare. Again the order in favor of the tribal. Finally case landed up in High Court in 84. The case started in 64 also. In 84 it again came to High Court. High Court said this particular transaction it seems to have happened much before the land transfer regulation came into force. It's not applicable. So they quashed all the lower court orders in 84. But last two lines, the aggrieved party can go to appropriate forum constituted under the appropriate law. I don't know what is that appropriate forum and appropriate law. They lost the hope. As a lawyer, I could not understand what is that appropriate forum. The tribal could not understand where to go. They left it. In 2004, this tribal woman, then she became active in Samakyas, SHG federations and all that. She gave a representation to the local collector. Sir, my father lost the property, can you do something about it? Then the collector issued a legal notice saying that this case came to me until I dispose the matter, don't sell your property is a notice given to a non-tribal. Then he immediately gone to High Court and he told in the High Court, in spite of an order from High Court, officers are harassing me. Please issue a stay. High Court gave a stay. In 2005, that case comes to me through a project officer. Sunil, you are now working on these issues, can you help? That's my first case. And I said, fine, let me try. And there are other senior leaders got involved, top ministers, I don't take the name. And one of the top ministers in government said, Sunil, if you are successful in this case, I believe that your legal aid will work. I can support your program. Sir, fine, let me try, give me 6 months time, I'll try. My first effort was to look at the land records and everything, to find out what I can do. First solution, if I can prove that the transaction happened after the commencement of the act, I will win the case. I can file an impleading petition in High Court, I can argue that way. Or, if I prove that still there is some other non-tribal cultivating the land, I can file a fresh LTR case. Then I try to look at what is the appropriate forum if not this particular law. I realized that there is a law which says before selling any agricultural land in Telangana during that time, permission of the collector is required. In this case there is no permission. I can still get back the land. Finally in the land records I discovered that this is a land, it's not a private land, it is a government land given to the tribal family as an assignment. If it is a government land given to landless poor, there is another law which says alienation of land given to the poor is prohibited. You can't alienate the land. If you alienate it, it has to be restored back. And who is the competent authority? TAHSILDAR is the competent authority. Filed a case in Tahsil court. In 2 months, I got back the land. Simple intervention. See, here you don't require Ramjet Malani, KK Venugopal or Falkiwala to come and argue. You just need a first year law student or not even a law student. In tribal area, any person with legal knowledge can argue tribal cases and project officers can permit. The power called Sanad. Sanad can be given to any person, any not a lawyer. If you all decide to do that kind of work, it is possible. This reminds me of an incident where we were celebrating Mankuwai's success in public gardens. There is a Jubilee Hall in public gardens. Some of you might know. There is a big hall. All government functions generally happens there. So we wanted to celebrate the success of Mankuwai's case. Then all secretaries were sitting there. Entire media was there. I only made 2 statements. Sir, look at her success proves that legal aid works. With minimum support, this can happen. I also said, if every law student in this state comes forward at least to spend 5-6 days in their life, you can at least help 10,000 people every year. Because there are 52 law colleges that time, around 50 law colleges, including NALSAR. At least there are 10,000 law students in those colleges. If every law student, as part of a land law course or a legal aid clinic course or voluntarily, at least gives a week, provides small legal advice, takes up a case for 4 days. In that Mankubai case, so popular, well celebrated and all that, my effort was only 4 days. I kept telling I have not done any hard work. It's only use my brain for 4 days and I could succeed. If all of you can do that way, there is so much is possible. If you want to do anything immediately, I will tell you options. Sir is now leading a review of AP land laws, Telangana land laws. You all can be part of it, can contribute to that. And there are 2 legislation which under Sir's leadership we are drafting it. Agriculture Marketing Act, Right to Services Act, drafting is underway. And tomorrow also there is a meeting there. So all drafting exercise going on. You can be part of it. Land Rights Center, still we are working in 6 villages in Warangal. There are 4,000 cases which we have identified, which needs legal support. We could only resolve around 200 cases by now. If you wanted to, you can take any of those cases and fight in Tehsil courts. Or if you just wanted to be providing free legal advices, you can still do that, I can provide you that option. Or you just wanted to stick to a legal research. There is so much to be researched on to give support to the government. So the possibilities are numerous. What is needed? A small initiative from your side. But fortunately, I am again seeing this kind of a very positive climate of supporting this kind of initiatives, which we got it in 2000. If sir and colleagues could not have supported our effort, we never would have reached this point. We got that kind of support. I see that kind of a very positive environment today with sir taking the lead. I think Vice Chancellor is very, very supportive. Last 2 years, all those activities, he took very, very active role. There are so many conferences have happened here, land conferences, land workshops, land conferences. Thanks to both of them. I can't say much more than this at this point of time, but I can only tell you, if you are interested, ask questions now or reach out to sir, reach out to me. We can still talk about more details.
Sir, how do we organize ourselves into a legal aid center?
Is there an existing legal aid
It's
center?
not existing, so we need to like start off from the scratch, and I think a lot of us are still not sure about what we want to do, how we want to go about it. So like if you could give us any idea about how it was when you get started, or like if you have any advice on that.
2 things quickly comes to my mind. One is that if you focus on land related initiatives, the center is there, Center for Land Rights. All these activities I just mentioned, whether legal drafting, actual legal aid, all that can happen through the center. Whichever area you are interested, you can just need to approach sir. Whatever area you need to interest, you can do that. All your field related work, sir is there to support and I am there to support from Landesa. My organization is there and I have done that kind of support all throughout, providing that kind of support, we can do it. Second thing, you just wanted to build a platform for only legal aid clinic. You need to be little careful in the sense of continuation. When you start something which raises the expectations of people in wherever village you are working, if it is not continued, there is a danger. And you raise the expectation of people and suddenly it drops. So my advice is first, do it through the center. You use that 6 villages in Warangal. By the way, there is another interesting center which is the first time in India. Again, NALSAR started 3 years back. You know the legal service authorities. And under the legal service authorities, there is a new scheme launched 2 years back to establish clinics, legal aid clinics, village clinics, and various offices that establish clinics. For the first time, in the premises of a district court, we have opened up a land rights legal aid clinic. There is a dedicated space within district court in Warangal. It started in 2013 March. That is ongoing thing. We will never get close to it. Space is there. People who are based out of it. There are 700 cases which came to the clinic, and as of now, they are only providing legal advices. What I was time and again telling people who are associated with the center, if you can have a linkage with existing student community, there is an email facility. I'll send you all the documents which comes with somebody sitting in the center. I'll send you all the legal documents. Somebody can brief you that this is the case. Please do a research and give me 1-page opinion. If I give that 1-page opinion to the party, it will be a great favor to them. Today I am not able to do it because I am not confident. I am not able to give my time. So simple thing, in those 700 existing cases, take whatever cases you want, do it a little bit of legal research, consult experts who have little knowledge. If you can draft 1 page, do it in English, not, somebody can do it in Telugu. Draft a 1-page legal opinion. I give that copy to the people. If you want to directly talk to them, I also said dedicate every Saturday where you can have an interface with the clients. I receive cases from Monday to Friday in the center. I tell the people, you need legal advice, come to us on Saturday. 5 people, 10 people, whoever they visit the center from Monday to Friday. Saturday you spend 1 day, go in the morning, it takes about 2.5 hours or 2.5 hours max. 2.5 hours from NALSAR to Warangal district court. Sit in the clinic from morning till evening, take up all the cases. You will get the information well in advance, provide them the legal advice, talk to them, then give that opinion. And out of 740 people got their pattas, their issues resolved with just advice, and they keep calling people in the center saying that we are fortunate. So my quick advice, one is that continue the efforts of that Warangal center. It is a joint effort of NALSAR University and Landesa. You can get involved with that. You want to work in villages, there are 6 villages where we are right now in. We have created 4,000 case files. We have a center in Warangal also, there is a space we created. 4,000 land case files are there in the center. Pick up any case file and take up that case. Whether you want to give an advice, you want to fight a case, we can facilitate. You want to get involved in legal drafting, anyway sir is there, he is involved in drafting that. Either you can get involved in the AP work or Telangana work or any other legislative work. That is also possible. Or if you wanted to have more dialogue, I keep coming to this place. We can again meet one more time with you, or if any other person is interested. Or if you happen to be in city, walk into my office. I am in Tanaka street number 1. You can always walk into my office.
Any other question?
So is it possible to do some on-ground work closer by, because the travelling time is a bit of a barrier for like a lot of us, at least for me I believe.
We had tried that, in fact, we tried that in Shamirpet.
I think when we came here for the first time and we talked about the legal aid cell, the problem in Shamirpet is that NALSAR itself, they believe there were a dispute with NALSAR itself.
That's why, I'll tell you, for 2 reasons, it was no feasibility to that kind of impactful work around NALSAR, for 2 reasons. One is that this is an urban setup. In an urban setup, to get justice on any kind of land matter, it takes ages. For students, if I don't see success immediately, maybe in a 1 month's time or 2 months' time, I get demotivated. If I would not have tasted the success in 2000 in a month's time of resolving so many cases, I never would have the kick to continue all that. Now that I'm doing it because of whatever is possible in that 1 month. So in an urban setup, it becomes difficult to find quick solutions and do anything around this Rangareddy district, Hyderabad Rangareddy. The nearest district, which is not urban setup, either is Warangal or Nalgonda or Mahbubnagar. Geography-wise, Jangam Revenue Division will now become a new district. It is the closest to NALSAR. You just get on the road, you are there in 1.5 hours time. We had
Siddipet also.
Siddipet also. Here also Siddipet. So that time we started in Warangal because we had all kind of support system existed there. But my advice, either you do it in Warangal district, Nalgonda district, or now here in Siddipet, or from towards Mahbubnagar. But choose an area which is not an urban, so that you can do something substantial within a semester duration or a 1 year duration. That's one. Second thing, there are certain issues in Shamirpet, Pudu. That's second reason. But third thing, whatever, I kept telling this last 12 years, not once. And I told this to so many people who came to me. Some students came voluntarily to me that we wanted to work. This was advice given to all of them. When you are starting something, if you are doing it in villages, plan that there is a continuity. If there is no continuity, the people's expectation will go up, then you get into trouble. Same thing happened in Shamirpet. We started something, then we gone back to the another after a year. Then there are raised expectations of people. Okay, I gave this petition to them. We were expecting that some ex-student will come from NALSAR and help. Suddenly you are not there. Before that, I am not even aware that I have a problem. Now you come to me, you tell me that okay, I have a problem, I will help you. Then there is no continuity, there is a problem. So my request to you, whatever initiative you take up, if it is a village-based initiative, plan that as somebody is continuing. Not that you need to be there every time, but at least you are saying weekly or 15 days, but it has to be an ongoing exercise. 2 places it can continue because we are also there. If it is Warangal Center or those 6 villages, even if you are coming in 1 day, but we are there throughout, all 6 days we are there is not going to be a disappointment. I will also tell you, from 2004 to 2006, for 2 years, we tried only law students model in providing legal aid, not just NALSA students. We involved students from all colleges of AP. In fact, there's only one time I took a video conference from Secretariat with all the law college students of entire state, asking them to do this kind of activity. Slowly we got into paralegal idea because of this very reason, that if I go by only law students intervention, there is no continuity. I need to combine this initiative with something else which is ongoing and regular. So wherever there is a paralegal work going on, if you go and work there, you can supplement. But you want to do it on your own, there are certain risk factors. The distance is not a big issue. It's hardly, with so much of connectivity, even that Warangal center takes about 2 hours, 2.5 hours. You go in the morning, you're back in the evening. And 1 day, in a week, or if in an entire semester you may be spending about 4 days or 5 days. That's not a big deal. But you can do an impactful work, continuing the existing things.
So don't you think it is better to have a common platform like legal aid, which is institutionalized, so that we have some platform to come together and organize ourselves, or else this way we are more disoriented if we go individually to the center?
My advice, that's what I was telling you, before any other shape it takes, I said route it to the land center. Land center platform is already there. There is a structure is there. There are 2-3 research associates also involved with the land center. There is a resources available for the land center, financial resources available for the center, and entire organization is backing up at the grassroots level. So first start with that, start with the land initiative, and center can facilitate all that. That's a common platform, and sir can take lead, or whoever is a research associated affiliated with the center, they can be the focal point. Start something, slowly it can evolve into a different shape.
What is the kind of legal acumen that you guys are looking for if in case I want to help people? As in, I'm a first year law student. After all, what kind of law do I know?
Straight answer. When I done all that work, I don't have any knowledge of land. In fact, I was cheated by a village revenue officer in my first case. So second year when I was arguing in a village court, I needed to interpret one entry in the record. And that interpretation is crucial for me to win the case. And the VRO deliberately gave me a wrong interpretation. And I believed it. And I was arguing before RDO, that interpretation. RDO was laughing at me. Sunil, what's wrong with you? I said, sir, this is your officer told me, that's why I'm quoting. Then he was continuously laughing for 2 minutes. They said, he is misleading you. This is actual interpretation. The point I'm trying to make, knowledge is not kind of a criteria. When you want to start something, you can acquire. When you start working on land, you will not have any practical knowledge. You will acquire it. It's only a couple of days you get to understand. Then you start supplementing it. But you're not alone in that entire exercise. You're supported by people. When we done as students, we're not alone. Entire judiciary was backing us up. There's a legal fraternity which is backing us up. Here also, there's an institutional platform. Now that there are more structured platform is available, and the paralegal network is there, entire paralegal structure is there. So don't be under that notion that you need to have any pre-existing knowledge of anything. But give a dedicated time. It's not kind of I come for a day and I expect result to come. No. At least for a semester you plan. Okay, these many days I want to associate, then there's something possible.
So would you say there's a way for legal aid to cover slightly more than just land rights, maybe say human rights or some other thing as well? Because what we've been talking so far is just land rights, and I think what other people here are also saying is that is there a way to have another fora that is broader essentially in scope?
It can be. There's no way. See, in fact, when we started also, we thought we want to do everything. My first exercise of that 1-2 years is doing everything. It's a common link. We created, the group name is called Shreya Legal Aid Forum, which we created a students' informal legal aid forum. I can still share that old report when we done all that. We drafted it in 2002. I can share that report. We started broadly, but slowly we narrowed it down. We believe we narrowed it down for 2 reasons. One, that let's focus on one thing substantially, than spreading everything. Second thing, for the rural poor, 90% of their legal needs are pertaining to land. To start something else, it's not so useful to them. Again, to address that 10% need, there's so many platforms are available. There is a legal society, when you go to legal society, they say, land, except land, they do everything. Domestic violence, human rights, there are so many NGOs who are focusing on legal aid around various issues. When it comes to land, it's completely absent. I'm not saying that, I'm saying this with experience, and also recent government committee report also said legal aid is completely absent in terms of land matters, and nobody getting any kind of legal advice. So that's a reason why we have deliberately chosen one particular area. You can do it something else, but if you are doing it on land front, we are there to support you. You think something else, we can also discuss that. No problem. There's no barrier that you need to only do on land. But this is very important for people. We have recently completed a legal needs assessment. I think India is very rare that we do any kind of legal needs analysis or assessment of legal needs. Generally, it is done in US bar and somewhere else. But we first time, in a small way, done a legal needs assessment in 2-3 districts. Even the legal needs assessment revealed that 90% of legal needs of the poor in the villages are pertaining to land matters. And if that is the case, I thought, okay, this is what we need to do. In land, there are 76 types of land problems. That's a kind of gravity. 76 types of land problem. 66% of civil litigation in India is on land. And out of the total land owners in India, all states put together, You know, there's something called secure land rights. When you feel your right is complete, when you have possession and a title and relevant entry in the record. If you don't have all the three, your right is insecure. In India, 53% of people don't have land. They're happy. Forget about it. For time being, for this discussion. Rest 47%, out of 47, make it into 100%. Out of the total landowners, only 10% or less than 10% have all the three. That's a magnitude of the land problem, whether rich or poor. That's why it is important to focus on land. And again, these 2 years, 2-3 years, there is so much of attention with the Land Acquisition Act, with the Land Records Updation Project. The poor require more support in the next couple of years. That's the reason. If you don't provide that kind of legal support to poor in the next 2 years, if land records, everything is digitalized and they're not getting any support, your injustice is freezed. Their name is missing. It will be missing forever because you computerized it and said, okay, this is final record. Look at the harm it will do a family. That's why it's important that institutions like us focus on that important area.
Sunil, briefly, could you tell the 6 villages project, 4-pronged process, so how we can take up that to, maybe next level? 2 minutes maybe.
Yeah, just not take much time. Sir was asking about there's a unique process undertaken in those 6 villages, which now became a national model. The other day, Deputy Chief Minister of Telangana was speaking from this dais and said he's going to scale up that model to entire state in his jurisdiction. And Department of Land Resources in a high-profile meeting took a decision to replicate NALSAR community model, which is done in 6 villages across country. The uniqueness of the model, if some of you have any knowledge about land titles, whatever is in the record is final for proving any title. Even though records are presumptive in nature, all land records in India are presumed to be correct unless contrary is proved. They are presumptive records, they are not guaranteed titles. But still, the condition of the land records, 80% do not reflect the field reality. Through the digitalization process, government is making several efforts to digitalize the record, but the major problem is that the involvement of the community is missing. The real stakeholder whose interests are affected, they are not party to entire process. So what we have done in those 6 villages, undertaken a community-driven process. Process is very, very simple. Take 3 youth from that village, man or woman, with minimum education qualification. If they know reading and writing, that's okay. And they need to have knowledge of the village, basic knowledge of the village. And we provided them 5-day training in CC center. We call from 6 villages, 30 rural youth were here in that CC center for about 5 days. Got training on basic land records and how to read a record, how to identify a parcel of the land. That's kind of a basic training. They've gone back, done a 4-step process. Step 1, I go to every household and ask, do you have land? Do you have any problem? Do you have any record? Please show it to me. I write all the details. I will not ask anything further, but I take the details. Then I go to each parcel and ask the same set of questions, just to cross check. Do you have any land? What's any problem? Your passbook or title deed? Then I draw a rough sketch of that parcel. So I have information coming from a household, information coming from field. Then I sit in a legal aid clinic. There are 6 village clinics also established in all the 6 villages. Those village youth, they sit in the village clinic. They got access to all the land records. They verify village cultivation record and the village title record. And I take the information from those records. What is there in the record? That's a 3rd step. 4th step, I'll analyze this information. What is coming from household? What is coming from the field? What is there in the record? Then I create a list of land problems which this landowner has. For every landowner, I create a code. Against each landowner, then I prepare a list of problems. Then I give a coding to each problem. There are 76 types of problems. And what we realize that every landowner, small or big, poor or rich, on an average they have 4 land problems. 4 land problems per landowner. In all the 6 villages, we could not find a single owner whose right is secured. That means has all the 3, possession, title and the record. And all those 4,000 we created a case files. That is one exercise. Then we have taken entire village record, highlighted where are the mistakes. We have taken this information and gave it to the authorities for a further action. Then the revenue authority, they correct the record and issue passbook and title deeds. In that way, out of 6 villages, 2 villages issues are resolved, titles are given. In rest of the 4 villages, process is completed. Now the revenue authorities are working on those cases to resolve it. And this model costs about 50,000 to 70,000 rupees per village. Entire Telangana will cost about 40 crores. Entire country may be around 10,000 crores. Out of, no, it's about 2,000 crores. 2,000 crores out of 11,000 crores which government wanted to spend. Fine, 2,000 crores, at least you have a better picture of the record. That's how now government got interested. We are now working with Niti Aayog to do a extended pilot from 6 villages to another 10-15 villages, adding a technology component. 6 villages we could not use any technology, we are not technology experts. So now we wanted to add a technology component, minimize the time and do it. This took almost 3 months time. With the added technology it will take about a month. And the cost is 60,000 per village, which is nothing. Out of 60,000, 50,000 will go as wages. 10,000 your paper cost and other things. I was saying, I told sir many times, I told the CM also, sir, if you fail to implement this project also, that you fail to achieve the desired goals of the project, what is the desired goal? Updating the record. If you even fail that you are not able to update a single record, you have 5 achievements when you miserably failed in the project. Number 1, every village, 3 people will now have land knowledge. There are some people in the village now with that basic knowledge. Second, copies of land records now will be made available in the village. You are taking a Xerox copy. Whatever you talk about computer, a person sitting in America can see the record, but not a farmer cultivating in his land. He can't access it, he doesn't have that access. So now there is a physical copy. Third, every villager will now have information about what is the land in the village, what is government land, what is forest, what is private land. Fourth, every landowner will now at least know whether he has a problem or not. Today, most of the people not even know that they have a problem. Only when the land is acquired, only when the neighbor tried to create a trouble, then they know that there is a problem. But until now, they not even know that there is a problem. At least diagnosis happens. I call it the land rights test. Land rights test will be done. They will know whether disease is there or not. Forget about the treatment. And finally, when you go for a resurvey project using your drones technology or a satellite technology, you will have people in the village who can establish community link. If this community link is not there, your any technology will not work on the ground. These are 5 achievements. So NALSAR in that way contributed to a paralegal idea which became now a national-wide project. I am strongly of the belief that this land records unique model is going to be a national model, and again NALSAR can proudly say that we contribute to that. Sir, I am again requesting you. You are now doing a lot of work in the last 2 years to tell the world what is happening and what NALSAR is doing, but I am appealing to all the students community. Feel proud that it's all happening. Whether you be part of it or not, it's our work. Wherever I go, whatever NALSAR does, I proudly say it's my institution doing this. And take pride in it. And we could able to reach 10 lakh people is not a small number. If I'm able to reach 10 lakh people, it's a huge achievement. I'll tell you the kind of immense happiness I got after winning that first case, Mankubai case. I keep telling people, I can never ever get with any amount of money. You try it. Try with one case, then feel for yourself. If you feel convinced, continue with that. Anything else?
I think because already
Good. Thank you very much, and hope to meet you again.
Thank you, Sunil. I know it's 1:45, so we have to leave. But thank you once again. Another thing I know, Sunil, of course, from student to now colleague to, and he is now advisor to Niti Aayog on any land matter in India, he will be called. So that is the achievement he did. Thank you. If we are interested, we can further discuss and we can work out. Okay, thank you.
Thanks.